or the defense has shown it can step up. It might not be consistent, but it can play some games against quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins. So this is my upset of the week. 24-17, excuse me. Chiefs 24-17.
Another little fun fact, Kendall Fuller, one of their corners that better players, is back today as well. So they're getting healthier by the week.
Go figure, 2 Packers fans picking against the Vikings.
They're outdoors, man. Vikings don't play well outdoors.
I like it. It's good for the people to know. It's not a...
They let the house cat outside. It's going to be pawing at the door. Meow, let me back in. I can't handle it.
Moving into the game that everyone's waiting for, a battle in the AFC East. We got the 1-6 New York Jets visiting the 0-7 Miami Dolphins. That's right. We've got Joe Namath taking on sorry, folks. We've got Sam Darnold taking on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Time machine right there.
Not quite the matchup that we think of when we think of these two famed franchises. And here we are with a win total of 1 between these two teams as we sit here in Week 9.
I'm going to tell you right now, this game might be the sneaky good high-scoring game that no one expects today. Watch Darnold and Fitzpatrick come out and just put up like 40 points each and have like an 80-point total. Watch it happen. It always happens with the lower-end teams.
You have a good point, and I think that may be exactly what's going to happen with both of these defenses underperforming, so to speak, putting it nicely. Here's a stat for you, according to ESPN. This is the first game in NFL history where both teams have a minus 100 point difference or worse playing in 8 games or fewer so far in the season. So not exactly.
It's Billy Madison. Goo!
You can't look around these franchises and point at a lot of success. So that being said, fantasy-wise, there is a lot of silver linings here. There are a lot of silver linings here. Those of you who have been patiently waiting for a breakout game from Le'Veon Bell may just see it this week. Miami Dolphins are the second worst team in fantasy, giving up 25.5 points per game to running backs. When it comes to receivers, they're not much better. The 6th worst, they're giving up 27.5 points per game to wide receivers. This is a game where I think you can confidently play Le'Veon Bell, know that you're going to get catches, know that you're going to get rushes. Miami is giving up the most 20-yard plus runs this season. Le'Veon Bell is going to feast. Robbie Anderson is going to feast. He has a touchdown his last 3 out of 5 games versus Miami.
Jay's telling you to stop.
What's the point spread? I didn't catch it.
Jets are favored by 3. Over under of 42.5.
That's a high for them.
Yeah. 42.5. So, I mean, we're talking a lot bigger than
Miami?
Some Washington Buffalo game. It is down in Miami. As Will Smith would say.
To New York.
Welcome. You think so? I think this is a revenge game for Adam Gase, son.
Him and his swirling tacos at the press conference.
That's right. The swirling tacos versus the ever-furious Brian Flores. We're going to see what each coach is bringing to the table today, both clearly fighting to prove that they're relevant, that they actually are good coaches in this league. I think that Flores is obviously getting the worst of the two. I mean, he was set up for failure where they did everything they could for Gase. I mean, you bring in Lev Bell, you have all these free agents on defense, you draft high on defense to get you where you need to be for that playoff push after getting your franchise quarterback, hopefully, set up. Bringing in vets like Demaryius Thomas, you bringing in Jamison Crowder. Clearly, the Jets thought that they were going to be a playoff team this year. It has not worked out that way.
Bill Belichick sent Demaryius Thomas with mono to New York, got Sam sick, and sabotaged the Jets. It worked perfectly. Bill, you genius.
The angles you can only hear, folks, on the Fantasy Files pregame show, brought to you by First and Goal Pod.
Don't forget to mention Demaryius Thomas being out a couple weeks after he got traded, but no, he was the carrier.
While you're at it, if you haven't already, you're already listening to the podcast. You might as well, after the show, go to the First and Goal Pod on Twitter. Give us a follow. We're on Instagram. You can find us everywhere you can find your podcasts. We're a great follow. Promise me. You find these guys every day of the week. They're always talking to someone. Whether it's a divisional matchup, they're doing a game recap, a game preview. These guys never quit. I'm only here twice a week. I got the easy part of the job. So, fellas, I just wanted to take a minute and commend you guys for the hard work you do. Jay, I know you just surpassed a milestone in followers.
Yes.
So congratulations to you, my friend.
I'm climbing like at 460 now. I might hit 500 here pretty soon. But thanks to everybody out there. I'm a moron and most of the time not very fun to follow. But yeah, it's interesting that people actually.
You have people saying follow this guy. Go ahead and follow him. Like people that we didn't even know who followed you are saying that. Shut up, Jay. You're a good follow. You're good content. You're raw football knowledge, man. Like that is huge in this because a lot of people are hot take-ish. We're not. That's why you're a good follow. And I told you, be more active. And look what happens.
All right, Dad. I'm not here for the frickin' goddamn stupid.
Oh, he's bad.
Follow him, folks, at JNDUP33.
All right. Well, let's get back into the analytics. We'll save Jay the embarrassment. On Miami's side of the ball, folks, they're going to be without C.J. Mosley, but they're also going to be without their center, Ryan Khalil. So we'll see if that plays a factor. I personally don't think it will because on Miami's side of the ball, they have the worst pressure rate in the NFL. They're giving up the most touchdowns to wide receivers. I think you can not only play Robbie Anderson with confidence, go ahead and throw Jamison Crowder out there. If you're feeling frisky and you want to flex Demaryius Thomas, who's coming into this game questionable, you can probably do better on the waiver wire. But hey, against Miami, throw your Jets out there, as they say. On the offensive side of the ball for Miami, I shouldn't actually go further without mentioning that Xavier Howard is already on IR for Miami, and his backup, Ken Webster, has been ruled out for this game. So that's why I say, folks, you really can't go wrong when it comes to playing Jets wide receiver.
They're playing Brad Argyle at corner. Woo!
Oh, a deep cut for those of you who don't know. You'll never know. But, yeah, that's just saying they're throwing street rats
sweater.
out there at cornerback. On Miami's side of the ball, the Jets, as I said, are missing C.J. Mosley. They just traded away Leonard Williams. You could do worse than starting Mark Walton, running back for the Miami Dolphins this week. He should see a lot of work.
Balaj is worth a start now? Do you think he's not going to get more carries?
I don't. I think no. Walton's had double-digit carries the past 2 weeks.
Wow.
Even with Drake being basically a healthy scratch. Balaj, I think they like to turn to on the goal line, but Mark Walton's a guy that they really want to test the waters with and see if they can keep him on the team for next year. So I think Walton's a decent play. I also like Devontae Parker, who's had 50 yards or more the past 4 games. He's had a touchdown in the past, 2 out of 4. And they're back at home. You could even do worse than Preston Williams with Tremaine Johnson out for the Jets. So there you go, fantasy-wise. I mean, Gesicki, don't even bring up the Gesicki. Don't even get in my face with that stuff. He hasn't done anything all year. He's been the most disappointing tight end for me because coming out of Penn State, his rookie year, I thought he was going to be fantastic. He's had nothing but opportunities thus far. And they just, whether
Didn't he run like a 4.39 in the 42?
Hyper athletic. I mean, You couldn't ask for better when it comes to an athletic prospect who can get you fantasy points, and he just has not performed at his size. It's been a real bummer. But oh well.
Gesicki's stats in fantasy are real sicky.
Reminds me of the Fairly Odd Parents. Gesicki, sicky, Vicky, oh so icky.
Yeah, Vicky's really icky on that.
Yeah, and this game's going to be icky. If you're watching it, you're going to be watching it in the red zone. Hopefully you're not one of those people that actually sits down and watches the entire 3 hours of this game. Otherwise, I feel bad for you and where your life is going.
Ray Finkel's going to be watching it with a Let's Kill Dan jersey.
So now let's get into it, guys. The final say. Who's going to win this game? Do the Jets cover the 3-point spread as visitors in Miami?
I'm going to say no. I think the Jets are going to win. I think it's going to be 35-31. And the last play of the game, Fitzpatrick heaves it up on the 50-yard line. And then you see the Dolphins are truly in tanking mode. And not only do you see Devontae Parker go up, but he doesn't catch it. He swats it away because they want the number 1 pick. Jets win it.
Jay, do the Jets cover the 3-point spread as visitors against these red-hot Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, 17-13. Dolphins suck.
Oh, the disrespect to the Fitzmagic.
The Dolphins absolutely do suck. Now, here's a scenario I have to throw at you guys because I've been dealing it in a particular fantasy league of mine. Lamar Jackson is my starting quarterback. I went to the waiver wire to see who was available.
He's shaking his head.
Exactly. Lamar Jackson at home.
He just gave you the dad no. Like he
Sunday night against the historically good New England Patriots is obviously a matchup I am looking to avoid if I can. I went to the waiver wire to see who was available. So now currently on my bench, I have Sam Darnold against these Miami Dolphins. I also have Derek Carr at home against the Detroit Lions, who have been fairly susceptible to the pass, but now have Darius Slay expected to play today. Of those three quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson,
every single game he's played in, man.
Well, exactly. That's going to play into what you guys say here. Lamar Jackson at home against the Patriots, Derek Carr at home against the Lions, or Sam Darnold on the road against the Dolphins.
Jay, well, we know you
play
don't
Jackson against the Patriots.
No, he wants you to. Don't do it, Dillon. Don't give in to his devil advocateness since he's enemy this week. He's frenemy number one.
No, it's not for this league. In this league, fortunately, I get to play Josh Allen against the Skins. That's for a different league.
No, honestly, you don't want to play Jackson because this is the Patriots' historically great defense that has played nothing but first and second year quarterbacks, and they are 0-26 when playing Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I don't give a shit if he can run with his feet or throw the ball a mile. Yeah, it is what it is.
So clearly it's between Carr and Darnold for you. Who do you like there?
I would play Carr because Darnold sees dead people.
Well, there you have it, folks. I know a lot of you are dealing with the issue of whether or not to play Lamar Jackson this week. So if you can, run to the waiver wire, pick up Derek Carr. He should have a nice game after Hunter Renfrow enjoyed a breakout last week. Tyrell Williams has scored a touchdown in every game that he's played this season, and Darren Waller, obviously himself experiencing a breakout season. Derek Carr against the Detroit Lions is the way to go.
But that being said, it's time to take our first break because we got to pay the bill. So we'll be right back in a couple of minutes, folks. And if you haven't had enough of our banter tonight, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and chatter. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still got an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for their version of the raffle for all kinds of cool prizes, even a chance at winning some cash. You buy a $10 raffle ticket for a chance at winning $100. That's a chance at making 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for a chance at all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from tailgating barbecue sets. That I have a Packers one that I won, folks, for $400. I put $40 down on the spot. I won it, and it was out of 20 spots. It's really worth it. I've also won helmets that are signed. I've won banners that are signed. I've won memorabilia rings. I've won footballs that are signed and other Packers knickknacks because that's my team. But go ahead and check them out. Cheap, affordable prices for certified, authentic stuff.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod, myself at UPJ33, Dave is at Steak and Cheese, and the fantasy wonder himself, Dillon, at Dillon Busby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions and comments, and you just might find yourself making the show live. That's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com. All right, folks, and we are back to break down the games. There you go, boys.
That's right. We're back. Next matchup we're going to discuss the Indianapolis Colts at 5-2 coming into Pittsburgh to take on 3-4 Mason Rudolph led Steelers. Right now, the Pittsburgh